Practicing, ended up practicing using the controller at the same time and figuring out like the ins and outs and that kind of a thing. It is a really sturdy controller. Like it works once you figure out how to use it properly. All of these things work every single time. I have not had issues with that. The only, what is it? The only thing that I've ever had happen is if up here in the input, this is an extreme situation, but essentially, if you go in there and if you try to actually break stuff, I had what is it? I was on tour, something like that, and I came back and I had like a little bit of a short in that area. And I think it's because somebody else who used it plugged in the USB and then stood on this spot. Like really kind of a stupid thing to do. And it kind of moved some things around and made it so that there wasn't as much connection, or it wasn't really working very well. Even at that point, it still was not doing badly. I just couldn't, I couldn't risk it, so I had it serviced. Really rare situation. The thing actually, it's like spill or almost waterproof basically, and you can watch. They have videos where they run it over with different things. It can take it can take a beating. So back to what we were talking about here. We did the X and Y increment thing here. So what was it? Something that I really like is if you do X live here, so save and send. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna delete this delay. I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna show you the XY control you can get from these buttons here. So if we go to, oh geez, glue compressor, grain delay. Let's just set this up first. Let's say, you know what? Let's not use grain delay. Let's just use like an auto filter as an example. So what we want to do is make the, oh my gosh. I'll remember this in a second. But let's go to the frequency. I'm going to map the frequency to the X parameter, which we have set up right here. So save and send to SoftStep, even though we already did it. It's just good habit. So we have X live. The gain's at 3. So just taking note of that. Let's go to MIDI. There we go. So that's mapped. And cool. And if we go back to the mod line, let's make another mod line. And let's do Y live. Now, one of the things you will have to switch things on and off in order to map separate parameters. So I just switched X live off. I hit save, send to SoftStep. Now I can go back to, oh my gosh, I'm like forgetting the name of this one here. Let's do the res. And so again, this is one of those things that happens. We did not set up the output settings. So let's make sure that they match the X settings there. Linear, right? Good here. Not good here. We need to switch to CCs, and let's go with 61. Feel free to, yeah, you will probably do this, but feel free to pause and just take a look at the settings and compare what you're doing. And make sure that they match except for these CC numbers, because you need to get different messages. So again, save and send. We come back. And we got nothing. Cool. See, save and send, right? Did I mess up a... Yes, I did. I did the mistake that I mentioned earlier. This needs to be SSCOM port 1. If you were watching that, it's a really easy mistake to make. I was working quickly. Save and send. This should work. You have that like that whole experience where the doubt creeps in and you're like, oh gosh, what happened? There it goes. So it won't happen so if you watch that again, it won't happen when I press on the side. These things are so sensitive. If I do, there it is. There's the Y sensitivity right there. So it actually picks up on all that stuff. So now if I can do so there's the Y sensitivity there. And what I'm actually going to do is let's go back and let's bring this back to 1 because 3 seemed to work for what we were doing much earlier. Just hit enter to get out of that. And let's see here. So I'm going to hit save, send to SoftStep again. Oh, I didn't enable X Live. Let's save, send to SoftStep. All right. Now, this is pretty abrupt, right? That's super fast. Yeah, that's like crazy time. All right. So, let's go back to the editor. Yes, there are some things to edit here. Let's go to smooth, which is like when I first discovered this feature, it was like very happy. Discovered is I use that loosely. They made it when I found that they had that here. So now if we go to so I didn't hit save and send to SoftStep, right? I think you can just hit send to SoftStep. That's probably fine. That's still super fast. So let's slow that down even more. Let's go to 500. Save, send. Okay. That's super quick. Still really fast. Let's see here. Let me see. Well, I'm not noticing the delay is, or the smooth is doing anything. So that might be. Oh. Share live increment. Okay. Essentially, I would say experiment with these different options. So if we go from live, we switch to latch, for example. Let's try that. Save, send to SoftStep. Oh man, that's so fast. So I figured it would be good to take a look at what I do for my setup. Right now, let me see. There we go. So right now I have a number of channels going. It's maybe a little complicated in some ways. Like a ton of returns, but really so sort of the heart of what I have setup wise is all controlled by this SoftStep. So if I come over to, here we go. So I'm going to switch over to my viola control. So right now, there we go. So if I press, this is that pressure sensitivity. I'm going in that way, kind of a thing. Let me see, and then I can, do an octave down, octave up, octave down, kind of a thing. Pretty straightforward. There's like a delay. Delay, right? So I do the volume for that. These are things that I have constantly switching around. Another switch there. So there's like a lot of different things that you can do. This is reverb. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I don't know. I go back and forth with all sorts of stuff. So you can sort of work with your controls that way. But it's super versatile. Why don't I just take something simple here? and see if so I'm going to record this and then I'll affect it with the controller. So something simple. All right, so this is going through, and I'm going to start affecting it with the controls. All right, so yeah, I think that's what we got for today. Oh, very good. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Let me turn off my notifications. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if you just saw a text pop through. Yeah, so this is a really great device. I really highly recommend it. You can start off with the basic mode, just so that you have something to do switches with. You open up, it's the same process as the advanced editor, except you don't have all the options. You just kind of select it. It's really straightforward. That you need a much help with that, but maybe you do, and that's fine. It took me a while to get a handle on this, because for the setup and the controller workings, I ended up figuring it out myself. I read the manual twice, maybe 3 times. It's worth reading. You end up learning a lot about other things in the manual having to do with MIDI, not like life, but yeah, having to do with MIDI. You'll learn a lot of things that way, and you'll get to find different ways of creating some interesting sounds. I don't know too many controllers that are able to do. I actually don't know if there's one other controller that can do similar things. It's made by the same company. There's the Cuneo. It has the XY pressure sensitivity and it switches all of the different things that come with it in terms of being able to program pretty much everything that you want. It's totally open source, and they could charge more for these if they wanted to. They charge what they do so that it's accessible to musicians, and it's really clear that they're trying to make it so that you can further your career in a creative way instead of having to deal with limitations. It is a somewhat challenging piece of tech to use, but once you get through that, you can really you'll find that it will improve what you're doing in its own way. It's like it is an instrument in itself. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to put a comment below. I know there are lots of things to cover with this, and if you can, please like and subscribe, and see if I can come out with some more interesting videos for you. I'm at Vox Viola on Instagram, and yeah, hope to see you soon.